In the month of April, I found the most 5-star reads that I have ever found in 1 month. And I guess you could say I'm addicted to the feeling. So let the hunt for my next 5-star read begin. You guys will be hearing all about the insane reading month that I have had with so many incredible 5-star reads in my wrap up video. But I seriously am just absolutely loving finding new favorite books, especially because in the first 3 months of the year, I think I found literally one 5-star. And then in April, I found them all at the same time. And so I've pulled off all of the books on my shelf that I think could be 5 stars. Like they're my 5-star predictions, and I'm going to read them until one of them is a 5-star. We'll start it with my two current reads, and I can already tell you right now that they are not going to be 5 stars, but I'm in the middle of both of them, so they will get included in this video. The first book that I am in the middle of is none other than Tom Lake by Ann Patchett. This is fun. I'll talk more about this when I give you guys my reading updates, but not going to be a 5-star, is going to be included in this video. And then the other book that I am in the middle of is Wild Side by Elsie Silver. I knew this wasn't going to be a 5-star. I just kind of picked it up because I was in the mood for a small town romance. I got the idea to film this video amidst reading these two. So those are technically on the TBR. The first book that I feel could be a 5-star is The Winners by Friedrich Bachmann. This is the third and final book in the Beartown series. I rated the first book a 4.5 and the second book a 5. So this feels like there's a lot of potential here. This book is so long and it's also beautiful springtime weather. And this is like dense, depressing winter books. But I love these books and I need to know. So this option number one. Next, we have How to Write a Love Story by Catherine Walsh. I have read both of Catherine Walsh's holiday romances and absolutely loved them. I read them years ago, and I feel like now all of a sudden people are like discovering her and her books. And so it's just so funny that I'm like, oh, I read those like way before they had any downloads on Kindle Unlimited. And now we're here and I'm just obsessed with her. And I really feel like this one could be a 5-star. It just depends a lot on like the storytelling and the romance and stuff like that. Then this one is feeling like my most I don't know. I feel like this is a good option. We have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab, and this is on my May TBR and also a huge 5-star prediction. I have had several 5 stars from V.E. Schwab. Don't think I've ever rated one of her books lower than a 4.5. So this feels like a solid option. I just haven't been in the mood to read a book like this for the last couple months, but I'm feeling like I could be in the mood for this. And then our final option that I've thought of is The Bright Years by Sarah DeMoff. Just the other day, I actually got to meet Sarah DeMoff. It was so much fun. I went to a book talk, interview and signing with her, and she signed my book, and she was just the sweetest person ever. She's from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So here, wait, there's my name. She signed my name in the book. Oh, so cool. Anyway, she's from this area, so she did this little local talk with literally 25 people, and it was such a cool and intimate experience. This is the TBR for this video. Again, I may read all of these, I may read none of these. I really don't know. And then I also have my Kindle here because I might pick up a different book on my Kindle. Who knows? I'm pretty sure the rest of the books on my physical TBR won't be a 5-star, but I don't know. It's literally been 2 hours since I picked up the camera, was fully planning on just jumping into my current reads, and then my sister called, and that literally is the black hole for time. We can just talk forever. So let's talk about my current reads. As I mentioned before, I'm reading Wild Side on my Kindle, which is book 3 in the Rose Hill series. And I have about 50 pages left of this book. It's a small town romance book. Every book in this series is a single dad, single parent trope, which I find really interesting. And I'm actually having a really, really great time so far. I haven't loved the first 2 books in this series, but I'm really liking this one. I'll probably give it a 3 or 3.5. It's solid. I'm having a great time. The short of it is our main character, Tabitha, her sister just passed away, and she becomes the primary guardian for her nephew. but it turns out that her sister actually left legal guardianship to her next door neighbor, Reese. And so they kind of go into this parenthood thing together. They don't really like each other. Yeah, it's an interesting story, interesting dynamic. And Reese is a professional wrestler, Slay. So this one's fun. And then the other book that I decided to pick up before, again, I had decided that I was filming this video, is Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. And I can't even lie to you guys, I'm a little bored. I've been wanting to read this book because I've heard pretty good things about it, and Meryl Streep does the audiobook. And I've heard such incredible things about her, like being the narrator for this book. In this story, we have our main character, whose name I quite honestly don't remember because it's just not standing out. Laura. Laura is older. She has 3 daughters, and she's basically retelling her life story and how at one point in her life she dated this famous actor named Duke. And her daughters are like really interested in hearing that whole story. And we're going back and forth into timelines between like Laura and her daughters and her family in present day, and like when she was young, growing up, becoming an actress, that kind of thing. I wish I had more to say about this. I'm noticing that with the audiobook, I kind of tune in and I tune out, and it's just not keeping my interest. And I really love fiction, so I don't think it's that. I'm not obsessed. So those are my 2 current reads. I'm hoping to finish Wild Side tonight if possible. And then I'm sure I'll finish Tom Lake in the next day or so. And then I will be going to my 5-star prediction stack and picking up our next book. I've finished 2 books since the last time that I talked to you guys, so I want to just give a very quick update on these so we can dive into my 5-star TBR. And the first book that I finished was Wild Side by, is that it? Why I already forget. I think it's Wild Side, the Elsie Silver book. And I think I'm going to go ahead and give this one a 3.5. Definitely my favorite book in the series. I don't know what it was. I pretty much was reading this before bed every single night, and I just had so much fun. Like every time I put it down, I was excited for the next night before bed that I could pick this book up and read it. I don't think I have any clips of myself reading it because I literally would just like knock out every time I read it before bed, and I was not going to film myself in bed. So this one, really fun, solid 3.5. And then the next book that I finished, I actually finished it last night, was Tom Lake by Anne Patchett. And this one unfortunately remained to be a bit of a disappointment for me. I think I'm going to go ahead and rate this a 3-star, unfortunately. I feel like this wasn't quite a 5-star prediction, but maybe like a 4 or 4.5. I've just heard such incredible things about Anne Patchett and all of her books. And I think this one, unfortunately, I just didn't connect with it. I will say a huge part of this story has to do with the play Our Town. And I haven't read Our Town, nor have I watched Our Town. And so much of our main character's like experience and her view on life and everything that she's telling her daughters and everything that she's reflecting on ties back into this play that she was in when she was a kid. And it's like a real play that I haven't read. And so I just feel like a lot of that was lost on me, unfortunately. I will say I liked the end of this book a lot more than I liked the beginning of this book. I think the beginning was painfully slow. And I don't know what it was, but I did not connect with the characters at all. I don't regret that I read it, but I can't say that I'm itching to read any more Anne Patchett after reading this. You guys will have to let me know what you think. I'm definitely surprised that I didn't like this book as much as I thought I was going to. So honestly, I think those are all of my updates. I just wanted to jump in and do a couple little updates on these books because I have yapped enough about them. And I'm really excited about the next book that I think I'm going to be reading because it is an official 5-star prediction. So I will leave you guys here and I am just going to go get reading, and I'm so excited. A few days ago, I started How to Write a Love Story by Catherine Walsh. I'm currently on page 126, and while this is a fun and sweet story, I can definitely tell you guys right now that unfortunately, this is not going to be a 5-star, but I am still having a decent time. In the story, we're following our two main characters, Kira and Sam, and it's a fun setup. Like, I've never read a romance book quite like this one before, and in this story, Kira's father is like the one of the most famous fantasy authors in the world, and he passed away before finishing the 10th book in his like epic fantasy series. It was like the epic conclusion essentially, and Kira is a writer herself, and so her dad leaves her the job of completing writing his series, but obviously she's devastated about the loss of her father, and she's having a really hard time kind of getting herself out of this rut. And so Sam is like a big time editor in New York, and he flies out to Ireland where she lives to help her work on the book. And so it's a romance between the two of them. I feel like the biggest thing that I'm struggling with right now is honestly, I just don't feel that invested. I don't feel that connected to Kira or Sam, which is very different than how I felt about other Catherine Walsh books. The other two books by her, I absolutely loved and felt so invested in everything going on, and especially in the characters and their romantic relationship. But right now, I just like kind of can't be bothered to pick up the book sometimes. Like, I want to read, but I just don't quite feel like reading this book, which to me is a bit indicative of how I'm feeling about the characters. I feel like the other thing too that I will mention is the writing in this book isn't flowing in my brain as it has flowed with other books by Catherine Walsh. Like, sometimes I just feel myself kind of getting tripped up, or like it just feels a little bit disjointed in certain sections, and that could be me. It really could. I have not had that experience with any of her other books before. I'm having a good time. Like, I would say right now this is in like the 3.5 to 4-star range. It's fun, it's sweet. If you're looking for like a lighthearted, funny, enjoyable rom-com, this definitely will check off all of those boxes. I don't know if I've said it in this video, but for me, a 5-star book is something that's usually very emotionally hard hitting. It makes me feel every single range of emotions. I laugh, I cry. Like, I just want to feel my emotions so deeply. But yeah, that's how I'm feeling about this book. I don't have a ton else to add in this update, so I will catch up with you guys probably, I don't know, either when I'm finished with this book or very close to the end. I have quite a few updates since I last updated the vlog. The first one, not book related at all, but I got a haircut yesterday, and I don't know if you can tell, I only cut off a couple inches, but I am obsessed with it. And it's just been so long since I got a haircut, and I feel so cute, and I love my haircut so much. That is the first update that is completely not book related. The next update is I finished a book. I finished How to Write a Love Story by Catherine Walsh, and sadly, the end didn't have like a crazy mind-blowing experience that made me want to rate this 5 stars. However, I still really enjoyed my time reading it. I think I'm going to settle on a 3.5 for this book. My main qualm with it is I just did not feel an emotional connection or an emotional investment to the characters. The writing said that they wanted each other, but I didn't feel that they wanted each other, and I just lacked that connection to the book that I think I strive to have, that I look for in romance books. And so I'm really sad because, again, this was a 5-star prediction. I still absolutely love Catherine Walsh. I feel like at this point she's kind of become an auto-buy author. I have 3 of her books on my shelf now, and I know that she has a backlist that I should probably circle back to and try to read. Still absolutely recommend this though for the summertime. I think you guys would have seen in my B-roll, I was reading this by the pool. We had like a really random, beautiful, just like hot day in Texas. And so I brought my book out to the pool, and trust, some of the pages are kind of water damaged, and this book has seen better days, but it really was a fun book to read outside and by the pool. And so if you guys are just looking for a light, fun rom-com, I do recommend this book. It was a good time, just unfortunately not a 5-star. But My third and final update for you guys is I started another book and I'm feeling really good about this one. It's early, but I'm feeling really good. Now, at this point in the video, we have finished 3 books. We've finished Wild Side by Elsie Silver, Tom Lake by Ann Patchett, and How to Write a Love Story by Catherine Walsh. So I'm thinking it's time to start bringing in the big guns. And there are 2 to 3 books in that TBR stack that I just really feel like could be a 5-star. And the one I feel like has the best chance is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. If you guys know me, then you know that my favorite fantasy book series of all time is the Darker Shades of Magic series by V.E. Schwab. It made me just fall in love with fantasy as an adult all over again, and I'm obsessed with those books. I read her new release from 2025, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil, and I rated that book a 4.5, and a 4.5 is the lowest I've ever rated one of her books. And so I was like, okay, we're bringing in the big guns and we're going to be reading The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. In this story, we're following our main character, Addie, and we're jumping back and forth between 2 timelines. Our first timeline is in France in 1714, and then I'm pretty sure our present day timeline is exactly 300 years later in 2014. And we know right from the beginning that Addie made some sort of deal to these like gods essentially, where she can live forever, but the cost, the price of it was that nobody could remember her. So every time she meets somebody, they literally don't remember her the second that they turn away. And we know from the back of the book, it says here, it will be 300 years before she stumbles into a hidden bookstore and discovers someone who can remember her name. And suddenly everything changes again. And so right now I am on page, where's the page number? Right now I'm on page 35. And that hasn't happened yet. So we know it's coming soon. I am just loving this book so far. It's so early, so I'm not going to like get into a full review and opinions. I don't have much to say about it, but while I was reading the Catherine Walsh book, I decided it was time to start a new audiobook. And I started this one, and it's narrated by Julia Whalen, who, oh no, my bookmark's coming out. It's narrated by Julia Whalen, who is a very famous voice actress. She does such an amazing job. And sometimes I like to space out my Julia Whalen audiobooks because they all start to kind of feel the same. And so I think the last audiobook that I listened to by her was Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I read that quite a while ago now, and so I'm feeling good about listening to this one. I will say I am loving it so much so early on that I think I am going to try to do a majority physical read. Like, I don't want this to be a primarily audiobook experience, but the audiobook is exceptional so far. So I think I'll just like jump back and forth. If I'm going on a walk, if I'm crocheting, I will listen. But if I have just like time to read, I want to read this book. Also, I am supposed to post this video not this Saturday, but next Saturday. Today is a Thursday. And so I'm like, if this book isn't a 5-star, I'm going to have to find a different video to put, like to film and upload, because I am not ending this video or like saying that a book is a 5-star just so I can post this video. I think that's it for this book though. I'm feeling optimistic. And that just feels really great because I haven't had a 5-star yet and I'm craving one. I'm actually going to get back to work. It's a Thursday, like I said. This is my lunch break. And then I'll catch up with you guys probably later this afternoon or evening when I get to reading this book that I am literally so excited about. Oh my God, I need to stop talking. It's been quite a few days since I updated you guys. Honestly, maybe just under a week, maybe like 5 days since I picked up the camera. And I have some updates for you guys. I have made it officially to over halfway in The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Let me show you. I'm just over halfway. I brought my book to the pool today, and I feel like I did a really good bit of reading outside. The weather was just so stunning and so perfect. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get outside. And I am absolutely loving loving, loving, loving this book. I cannot even put into words how much I am obsessed with it. I will say in this book, I think I did give a little bit of a brief synopsis at the beginning. We are following Addie LaRue, who is cursed, and when she meets people, they can't remember her. I don't want to dive into the details again. And we know that she meets a boy who finally remembers her after 300 years. And the way that this book is told is through two different timelines. And so we're going back and forth between Addie when she was young in France and is like getting cursed essentially and like dealing with the curse, leading up to her time in New York City where she meets said boy who remembers her. And my biggest challenge that I'm having right now is I am so beyond obsessed with the book in general, but particularly with the present day timeline. And I just love knowing and hearing about her meeting Henry and like their connection to each other. And there's like a little bit of a romance plot and just like everything about the two of them and the scenery of New York City. I'm obsessed with that and I just love it. So when we jump back to her being in Vion in France, I'm like a little bit bored. I'm not bored. I'm loving that too, but I'm just wishing that we were in New York. And that is difficult for me because I'm like, I don't know how I'll rate this book. I think it's going to depend a lot on like the ending and where the book goes. It's definitely feeling like it could be a 5-star, but I don't know. I don't know. And because we're getting close to the Saturday that I wanted to post this video, today's Wednesday, the 13th, I think, and I wanted to post this video on Saturday. I literally filmed another video yesterday just in case this book is not a 5-star. So I have something to go up on Saturday because I just don't know. I also don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this book that quickly. I don't know, but I would really love for this to be a 5-star because I just love a 5-star read, but also I would love to get this video up for you guys. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Final notes and final thoughts. My mic is actually going to die. I'm obsessed with Addie. And I'm obsessed with the King. I don't want to give any details away, but King, male main character in this book, he's so cute. I'm like, I kind of have a little crush on him. I'm like, ooh, you're really cute and let's be friends, you know? I just think he's so adorable. And I love seeing what someone remembering Addie is doing to her and hearing how it's making her feel and just all these little things that you wouldn't think about that come along with this curse. It's just so beautiful when you finally meet someone that remembers you. And truly, V.E. Schwab is just one of my favorite authors, if not my favorite author. Her, Emily Henry are my top tier reading supremacy people. I just love their books so much. So I'm having such a good time. I love this book. So all that to say, I'm going to sit my butt down on the couch and lock back into this book because we kind of just reached a point halfway through where I'm so locked in and all I want to be doing is reading. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. It has been a very long day of work, and I fear that it's obvious. I fear that you can tell. But today is Friday, and yesterday I mega locked in to Addie LaRue. I am currently on page 353, so I have a little under 100 pages left, and I don't normally update reading vlogs at this point. I feel like I like to give a 50% update and an ending update, but I fear that I just had to come on and tell you guys how obsessed with this book I am. I all of day, all of work today, I was like, all I want to do is read Addie LaRue. All I want to do is read my book. And I didn't think I would have a lot of work today. And then I did have a lot of work today. So it just took me through the whole day. And so now I'm just so excited because I think I want to just spend the rest of the evening reading this book. My boyfriend is out golfing for like the rest of the day. So I am completely free to binge this book. I did want to say things are going far too well right now, and that scares me deeply. It's just one of those things, I think, where in a lot of books at this point, I feel like everything kind of looks like it's going pretty well. People are very happy. And I just know that V.E. Schwab is going to shatter my heart somehow, some way. I don't know how or why, but she's going to. And I'm really honestly scared and nervous. So I kind of just know that once I pick up this book, I'm not going to be able to stop. Like I feel it in my bones that I will be binging the rest of this book this evening. And on top of that, the other thing that I wanted to just touch on in this clip is I know that the last time that I talked to you guys, I was like, the only thing, like my biggest struggle is these two timelines. Oh no, my camera's gonna die. And I think I just realized that the past timeline gives a lot of power to the present timeline. And basically what I mean by that is I think the impacts of what Addie is experiencing, that being Henry remembering her, I don't think that would be quite as impactful if we didn't see 300 years of everything that she was going through, like with people forgetting her and how she kind of navigated that challenge. And then we also get another timeline later on in the story. No spoilers at all, but we do just kind of get another time, another perspective. And the balance between the three has been so fun and so captivating, and I'm just absolutely loving everything about this book. So unless the ending gets like absolutely destroyed, like if it's bad for some reason, that's the only way I could foresee this not being a 5-star. But like we're looking really good, and so I was like, I have to jump on the vlog. I have to tell you guys, and I'm having the time of my life. I am having the time of my life, and I'm so glad that I started with this book in the 5-star prediction pile. So I'm so happy, and I'm also stressed that my camera's gonna die and cut me off. So I'm gonna go eat a snack and lock in because I'm done with work for the day. And now I get to go just be a happy, cozy, crafty, bookish girl. I'm not sure how much of my literal weeping I am going to keep in this video, but guys, I was literally sobbing my eyes out. It is now later. I had dinner, I showered, and I needed a little bit of time to recover from the work of art that was The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. You guys have probably been able to tell for a while now since this video is slowly coming to an end, but I have officially found my 5-star read, and this book was so good. It was so incredible. I think I probably said at the beginning of this video somewhere that when I look for a 5-star book, I'm looking for stories that can make me feel all of my emotions at once. And I can quite honestly say that this book made me feel so happy. It made me feel so sad and so broken. It made me question the things that I desire, the things that I want, the things that I need. What kind of bargain am I willing to make? What would I put on the line just so I could have something? And I loved this book so much. And I think part of what had me crying so much is with V.E. Schwab, you literally just don't know how she's going to end a book. Like, you cannot just assume that she's going to tie a pretty little bow on things and it's going to work out exactly how you want. And there were a few instances in this book where it kind of feels almost predictable. Like, you really think you know what's going to happen next because there just seems like a natural progression and a natural flow. And it doesn't go that way. Like, it just kind of takes a bit of a turn or something that you you just don't expect. And that's another thing that I just absolutely love about her books and her stories. And I just want to be besties with Addie and Henry. Like, I want to be a little group of friends. I want to be besties walking the streets of New York City and just hanging out and having so much fun and pretending like there are no problems in the world, because I just loved their characters so much and I connected with them so deeply. And I just know that this is a book that I'm going to be thinking about for a very long time. And to those of you who were like, Olivia, you need to pick up this book, you guys were 1,000% right. I should have listened to you way long ago, because you were 1,000% correct. I loved this book so much. And so lastly, I'll just do a little review of all of the books that I have read in this video. Forgot to grab them, one second. So the first book I read on my Kindle was Wild Side by Elsie Silver. Really enjoyed that book. Definitely not a 5-star read though. I think I rated it a 3.5, 3.25, 3.5 in there. Then I decided to pick up Tom Lake by Ann Patchett, and I really, again, enjoyed this story. It just didn't wow me how I wanted it to. I really lacked the emotional connection and investment in the characters in this one. Still recommend. Audiobook was lovely, just not my 5-star. Then we picked up How to Write a Love Story by Catherine Walsh, and this book was so fun, and I'm really glad that I read it. Perfect poolside read. So much fun. If you guys haven't picked up her new release yet, you definitely should. And finally, we had The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. If you guys made it all the way to this point in the video, comment down below the star emoji so I know who made it all the way here. And I think that's going to be it for me. I'm going to get this video edited and uploaded for you guys. I'm so happy that this kind of just magically worked out. And now I'm ahead because I have another video filmed and ready to go for next week. But yeah, I think that's it. I hope you guys are having the best day and the best reading month, and I will see you on Saturday for my next bookish upload. Bye!